It was good, man. I used to enjoy it. I used to get frustrated if the sound went right and stuff, but that's just me being a bit, because the bands I listen to, everything's fucking was on point in them times, you know, and I'd get pissed off if it wasn't, you know. And to be realistic, I was being unrealistic, you know, like we weren't ever going to be Megadeth, you know what I mean? Like it weren't going to happen. Like I should have just fucking left it and realised that we're going to be what we're going to be, you know. But what was the question again? I believe it was in the Bull and Gate. I don't know how many gigs in that was. Was that like 5 or 6 gigs in maybe? Don't know. Yeah, so we set this gig up. I think it was more Yanni and Tom. Yanni done all that shit, man. I was useless at that, to be fair. Like, give him his props. He was the hustler. He done all that shit.
Yeah, a lot of build up. Yanni copiously printing off leaflets while he's supposed to do work in his tiny cave at work while kids just threw eggs at his windows and made fun of his hair. And his revenge on society was going to be this Halloween gig, you know, his magnus opus of his whole life. And Tom was making this huge fucking poster and it was amazing. And we went to this gig, yeah, and I was nervous as fucking about 10 minutes before the hands froze. And I put them on radiators and I sat on them and I couldn't get these hands warm. They were frozen solid. So I had a shot of Jägermeister, a double vodka and lemonade, and then a pint. And it helped me get through. But to be honest, the weird thing is my strength was that I was always fighting the bass. It was always too low for me. It was always uncomfortable. The strings were fucking miles off the fretboard. And that's how you guys got a good show. I was swinging it around like I was trying to wrestle an elephant, you know. And I wasn't winning.
Yeah, again, we decided to do all elaborate shit. So we go there all dressed up as zombies. I think Tom was in a dress. Yanni was in a scream mask and then all black like a ninja or something. Jason had a weird white mask on, like, and a suit or something, or a hoodie or something, from what I remember.
Shit, oh yeah, I had a mask, you're right, fucking hell. Yeah, I had a mask and a hood, yeah. It was like a plain white mask. And I remember the sweat beads, I could see them accumulating in the chin area and just dropping down. But it was actually a great first gig because, you know, you're always going to be nervous. And when you can hide your face, you know, it gives you that extra confidence. It was a pretty gnarly gig and we were really happy after. The weird thing about D.E.A.D is that we would apologise after every show. Oh, I fucked up. Tom would say, no, do you remember that film? We're like, what film? And then he was like, no, I fucked up. It was the most fucking Mother Teresa band in the world, man. Every time we finished a gig, everyone would just apologise to each other. Yeah, really weird. We never got any musical, oh, your music was great, but we got, man, you guys got great energy. The crowd is so happy.
Yeah, I think we played all right in that. And then there was some fucking real faggy band afterwards who played. I think we didn't want to headline because we wanted to have a drink afterwards or something like that. And so this lot played. And then they were all emoed up and that, and some fracas came between the singer and one of the guys in the crowd, and then a fight kicked off. And then I remember someone started breaking up the pumpkins that was in there and started throwing them, and one nearly hit my amp. So then we all kicked off and we weren't happy. And then I remember it just turning into a bigger and bigger brawl. And yeah, so we quickly unpacked all our gear and threw it in the back of the van. And I remember driving off, like, it was almost like a film, you know, driving off with the back doors still open at the back and like closing it, and other people were leaving behind, like, wait, sorry, no room in the inn. Like, people just proper piling into the back of my van.
This is a weird one. I don't remember if we promoted it ourselves or we had a hand in booking. I think maybe Damn Sly or one of them other bands must have, but I know we had to get a lot of the gear together. And I know this time, I think Tom ripped off someone in the process and got us all out of there before we had to pay anyone. which is bullshit. But like, I don't remember. I just remember there was a big scramble for us to get out. Everyone was like, "Get in the van. We're leaving. Like, we gotta leave."
Yeah, that was it. It all kicked off, so we didn't want to pay people or something like that, or we just like jipping in them days. I don't know. Yeah, we were a bit raggy like that. So that goes back to me and Yanni's betting syndicate at school, man. Like, if we win, we win. If you win, we win. Basically, we had a betting syndicate, like on the football results. And if we liked the person and they won, we'd pay them. If we didn't like him, we'd just like, nah, sorry, your bet don't count, and we just keep all the fucking money. But yeah, it was a bit like that, I guess. But yeah, I remember the real comedy and drama of like the brawl was getting bigger and bigger, and like we were all just fucking. I was like, get my fucking amp in there, man, because this was my pride and joy, this Marshall amp.
We started racking the gigs up after that. Yeah, I was booking them from my office job that I was working for the council. Instead of, I was in a porter cabin. I had access to the internet. No one was really watching what I was doing. And I was just going on MySpace and looking at what other bands were doing. And if I saw a band was playing somewhere, I'd just look up that venue and get in contact with them. I'd just follow the breadcrumbs. I was like, I'd go home every day and I'd call up the band and be like, we're doing this gig and that gig. And a lot of them were just fucking terrible. But like, I mean, isn't terrible places to play, but we didn't give a fuck, man. Like, we just went there and were monsters. Like Jason just bouncing around, Lee not giving a fuck, Tom just smashing it, me just falling around the place playing guitar. It was good, man. It was really like no grand scheme of it. Just book gigs, play them. Tom was really, and also now Tom is getting super creative with the flyers and the artwork. Like, every day he's coming up with new artwork, new ideas. It just gave our band like an awesome look, like a real identity sort of thing. Like, so it suited the name. Like, and this is another reason why, even if I didn't like the name, I didn't have a problem with us being called it, because we had an aura about it. Like, it was all the imagery and the zombies and octopuses and wackiness. Like, it was all fitting together, man. Like, surprisingly well.
Yeah, really well. It was very energetic. It was very, I dare say, it was kind of loving, man. We was just like pounding away, everyone respecting each other's space, everyone apologizing afterwards, everyone playing with a smile. So like I said, when we came off stage, everyone was like, wow, that was really good. You guys, you have an amazing energy. It's all positive and all of this shit. No one said you're an amazing artist. No one said the music was incredible, but the energy was really good.
I don't think anyone, like when they got together, I don't think anyone really knew how to sort of construct songs, or no one knew what they were doing. I mean, I don't think anyone really knows what they're doing. But, so you pick things up. It's just a matter of how quickly you pick things up and how quickly you implement them into the band to go forward. And that, yeah, I think it was rough and ready for quite some time, but I think they liked it like that, and I think a lot of people liked it like that. It was different. Just go and see a band going up there and giving no fucks, basically, whether they were in tune, played the right notes or anything, like even the volume. So,
Who was the best musician?
That band.
At that point, who was the best?
I don't know, man. Like, I think I'd say me and Lee were about 50-50. But then I guess Jason was badass at just, okay, because, there's different points, I'd say, right? So, like, I'd say for, like, creativity at the time, I'd definitely put Lee and myself, I guess also because my role in the band, I didn't see myself any more than, like, I was helping write riffs sort of thing. I wasn't writing songs, so I didn't think in that kind of way. I was kind of trying to, play along with what Lee was coming up with, and I'd come up with riffs and Lee would make lyrics to them. So Lee and me, we really complemented each other in the sense that we were coming stylistically from like a totally different place, but we met right in the middle. Lee was very straight up Marshall amp, fucking rock and roll, man. Like, that's what I'd say about that, is just like they just riffs that will just hit you in the fucking face, man. Don't matter where you were in the room, you know. Like you. So for a guitar player like me, it was a lot of fun to play along with because it gave me a lot of freedom to try and play this wacky style that I was trying to. You know, I was really into John Frusciante, Buckethead. You know, like the flashy but also weird kind of players, and my hands weren't there yet to do the flashy stuff. So, like, I was I think I had like a very attack kind of style, like, if that makes sense, like very sort of fucking in your face, bending strings out of tune, just really trying to get my point across rather than like a musical passage or, you know what I mean? Like, I was trying to put my fucking heart and soul into the amp, and the thing that and then when you get to Jason is like he totally understood that I was that kind of guitar player. He totally got it. Like, some people would hate to play in a band with someone like me because they're like, this guy's a fucking nightmare, you know? Because a lot of them rehearsals, like, the good 15-20 minutes at the beginning was us trying to get the levels right to just make something coherent come out. Because when you get two guitar players in a room, it's noisy, man. Especially if you're playing with Lee, man, you gotta fucking turn up, man. You gotta make sure all your amp is working and everything, because ain't no one stopping him from playing loud. You know what I mean? Like, so, and then yeah, if you're asking me who the best is, I'd give it to Lee, man, around the time, because he was, you know, he's writing lyrics, he's coming up with them, hitting them out. I'd say Tom. I don't know. I don't think any of us were really better than each other at the time. Like, Tom was good, you know. He hit hard and he played in time as far as I can remember. Yeah.
Musician, probably Tom. You know, thinking about it now. At that time, Yanni's an amazing guitarist now, but I don't think he was back then. Had a lot of vision, but his sound was all fucked. You're not really supposed to put a distortion pedal to a distortion amp, like, because they just feed back off each other. And Yanni, that's all he would do. He'd put his pedal up to 10 and then put the amp on 5, so all you heard is zzz anytime he wasn't touching the strings. When we were playing a gig in Walthamstow, he went, what is that horrible, the sound man goes, what is that horrible feedback I can hear through the speakers? Yanni gets all defensive, like, you know, I don't know, like he's trying to sanctify his child. And he goes, well, that's the sound, man. That's my sound, and I'm not changing it for... Like, he had a pre-prepared speech. I'm not changing it for anyone, so you like it or you fuck off. You know? Yeah, it was crazy. Lehman really liked his Metallica riffs. Me being a Metallica hater, unfortunately. They were good, but they just chugged along too much, whereas I wanted to be faster. I love speed when it comes to metal. And I think just Tom had this rhythm, you know, he has like a really smooth rhythm with the odd cymbal. It was a beautiful thing to watch, man. It was like... Even when he was being aggressive, it just had a smoothness to it. Like I don't know how it is. With drummers, it's really weird. You can't put your finger... Well, I can't put my finger on it. But they just have these qualities. I remember saying to Yanni once, it sounds like every time he hits that drum, 1,000 locusts jump off it and then re-land in the exact same space.
I would say Lehman at that time, just because he had a fairly good grasp of blues and stuff like that. And I think he could... Yanni was very proficient going up and down the sort of guitar. Like, Yanni could no fucking thing, but I think Lehman sort of, with the blues and stuff, had a bit more grounded idea of the song bases and stuff like that.
Ooh. At that point, probably me and Tom. But that's going by the style I like. Yanni had a different style, and he was a bit looser in them days. Now, Yanni's a fucking much better guitarist than me. There's no doubt about it. But I think in them days I was probably a little bit better. But I don't know. But there were different styles, though, to be fair. Yanni was a looser, funkier player, and I was a more metally, like, Metallica-y, riffy kind of player. So they were different. Tom, I thought he played a bit Bill Wardy, really, quite loose, and with the riffs, like, it wasn't very strict in time. Like, he fluctuated. But that was due to him being, like, young as well and not the greatest musician. But to be fair, Jason was good, but I think he probably never got to show as much musical abilities he had, because a lot of the riffs were already written. But he was good, man, and he was well in the pocket on the gigs, man. I'll give him that, man. He really fucking rocked it on the gigs, man, and he sweated for them, you know. That's the main thing we wanted in the band. You got to sweat, man. Do you know what I mean? Don't go up there and fucking stand like a shoegazer, you know.
Yeah, it was collective. Lee, I think Lee. I guess Lee had to decide and vote on what would be like a finished song. I guess we had like a lot of ideas that were. We had a lot of ideas and that we were working towards, and I guess whatever. Lee was never like a dictator, like, oh, we're not doing this or this or that. You know, like, it was always. We wrote what we did, man. I think we probably wrote more than we had any right to, for how much we fucked around, and you know what I mean. Like we wrote a surprising amount of material, like stuff that didn't get recorded, but yeah, we got a lot of stuff done, man. And that was all done out of, you know, democracy, man. I think Tom even kind of structured a song or two that we never got around to recording. So we're all doing stuff. I guess Jason was the only one that, and this is where the problem kind of came in later. He was, I guess at the beginning it was always me and Lee, and then Tom, and then Jason was just turning up to rehearsal sort of thing. He didn't really have any creative input. Didn't seem like he wanted to have any creative input. He just wanted to play gigs and fucking rock and roll.
I'd say I wrote 80% of them. Well, when it comes, a lot of them, some of them I brought in just written, like Bastard Son. Petrolhead kind of came up quite organically in a jam, like between Tom just went dum dum dum, and then I went dan dan dan, and done that, you know, that kind of, and then I think I shouted something like rah 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 or something, and it just turned to Petrolhead, and then we all chipped in and fucking got that together. It's just all about dickheads, really. People who are just dickheads. I wanted it to sound a bit like you're glorifying it, but you're not really. If you listen to the lyrics, it's just saying you're a fucking plum for acting like that, really. It's about people who just go out and start fights and think they're the big bollocks and all that kind of shit. So, and people telling tall tales that are just bullshit, you know, like, oh, I beat this person up and beat that person up. And it's like, well, no, you didn't really, did you? That's just bullshit. So, yeah, it's about people like that. Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah, I mean, probably writing's the wrong term, man. We literally, we went into a place, Yanni might start a rhythm, he would react to, what's his face? Lee-Man would react. Lee-Man would be the spine, chug along with a Metallica-ish type vibe. And then, yeah, and I suppose, Yanni would follow that pussy from Metallica who comes up with jazz riffs and just adds a lot of distortion. Yanni would kind of soften it up and make it a bit more rhythmic and add his little solos. I would follow their leads. So yeah, and then together we would basically get what was done in a practice studio and stick it on stage. And then sometimes I think Lee-Man would rework the lyrics when he was alone. So he might actually just come up with a chorus whilst we would chug along, and then later on he'd fill in the gaps with actual lyrics.
Petrolhead, I remember this well. We spent about an hour on the bus trying to get to rehearsal. We didn't get there till really late. And yeah, Lee started just playing this riff that is known as Petrolhead. We do that. We knocked that out. I don't remember where we went afterwards though, because we're right now. This ties up with another place that's like a big part of my life, musician life history. We do that. I don't remember where we went afterwards, man. This is the key thing. I really don't In fact, no, fucking pressing it. I don't know who went. Maybe me and Tom went, but I think we went to fucking Astoria afterwards. I think we went there, and I'm pretty sure we fucking went there. And then the next day we had to go and rehearse at Enterprise, and which is where I ended up working years later. And I remember getting there so fucking hungover. Lee didn't come out with us. I think by now we're living in Wolves and Lee's living, I think he's living in Uxbridge. He's there bright as fucking anything. And I'm just super hungry. I'm eating this fucking sandwich. And just hungover to fuck. It's like 11, 10 in the morning. And he plugs the guitar in and makes this fucking noise. I'm like, Lee, what the don't ever fucking, like, just catches me so off guard, man. Like, I remember just giving him the daggers look, like, what the fuck are you doing, man? You know what I mean? Like, give me a fucking minute, you know? And then we had a joint, I think, and, you know, just calm down. All right, we start playing, and then we finished writing that riff that we were working on the day before, Petrol Head. And then that night we had a gig at a place called Lark in the Park, and we were so excited about it. Me, Tom, Jason, and we were like, yeah, we're gonna fucking do it tonight at a gig. And we just did it instrumental. Like, and now this is the thing that I really liked about that band is like, I mean, so like, we dared to do that stuff, and like my bands I'm in now, no, you know, like, there's too much thought behind it. Like, oh, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that song tonight, this and that. And like, we just didn't give a fuck, and we did it, and it was great, man. Like, because we got the point, the newness of it got. I think the place was called Lark in the Park. It was like a half kitchen, half bar thing, and we got real honest. No one there knew who we were, but people coming up to us later, they're like, "Who the fuck are you guys, man? Like, what is it you're doing in there?" You know, like.